know, linear algebra is the secret engine behind machine learning. Welcome back, guys. Hope you all are doing good. Now we are going to discuss about linear algebra of mathematics, and by end of today's video, you should be able to refresh your memory on linear algebra, and stay tuned till end of this video. It will be very helpful, and without delay, guys, let us start. So here we are with our linear algebra topic, guys. So what is linear algebra again? When we are dealing with different kind of linear equations. Again, what is a linear equation? Any linear equation which has the exponent of 1, that is called, any equation that is exponent of 1, that is called linear equation. And again, it's like we are manipulating and we are combining, we are doing all sort of things with those linear equations, right? So that is what your linear algebra. So here the important concepts what we have to understand, we have to understand what are vectors, what are lines, what are planes, what are the mappings between them, and to perform the linear transformation, like all those linear equations needs to be transformed into the output, right? So that is nothing but your transformation of linear equations. And we need to understand all those topics. Then like we will proceed further on understanding vectors and matrices and linear functions. So we will go ahead with that and see, guys, you can see one example here. This is one x-axis, this is y-axis and this is x-axis, and one line has been intercepted between those two, and you can see these are my coordinates, right? So if you convert these coordinates, you should be able to get 2x plus y. So if you see, when we are getting 2x plus y equal to 2, what does that mean? See guys, what I have taught you in our coordinate geometry, this is a straight line formula, right? This is a straight line and we have a formula. What is it? We have mx plus c. So whenever we will get these equations, we have to get the x and y coordinates, right? So this is how you will get x, and you have to convert it by different methodologies, and you will get it. So I don't want to go deeper in that, but I want to tell you how we will achieve the m and c part of this. Like, see, this y is there, right? So what we will do? 2 minus 2x. So what should be my mx? It should be 2x plus, so here my m is minus 2, your c is, and with c you should be able to get your intercept points and all these things. So I'm not going to go deeper in that, but you should understand this is how you can get it, and this will help, like these equations are helping you for transforming into simpler format, like those linear equations can be transformed to simpler format. So guys, what is a vector? A vector is what? A vector is something which is having a direction, right? For example, see, this is my plane. I'm just showing you here. This is my plane. This is my line. Okay. This is my line. So if you see from space, like if you see from 3D direction, how is it going to be? It's going to be like this, right? Isn't it? X, y and z. So what exactly I am trying to say, whenever this 3D form, if you see in 2D, that is becoming a plane. And the line which is there in space, you should be able to see that something is intercepted between these two lines. Isn't it? Like that's a visual effect, right? So vector means whenever those, the lines which are like, you are drawing the line by taking those coordinates, right? Those are having a direction and those are represented like this. A vector is represented like this. And the magnitude of that vector is your scalar. It's your scalar value, right? Like it has some value. For example, the coordinate of this one is 0, 2. That means it originated at 0 in y-axis and it went till two directions, like 2 units direction. So you can represent it like this, right? And this 2 value is nothing but a scalar, right? So you can see this vector, a vector again, we can say a vector is a one-dimensional array. A vector is called as a one-dimensional array. This is a geometric representation. You can see this is your geometric representation and this is your algebraic representation. Algebraic representation is like this. And the same thing we can write like this. Like you can assume it like this, that a vector can be represented as a single row or a single column, right? Then we will go ahead. So again, vectors have different kind of operations. We have addition, subtraction and multiplication. See, these are the two vectors, like what I told you, a vector is represented like this, right? This is one vector, this is another vector, and those resultant is nothing but your r. And how is it getting added? We just need to take a straight line like this, which will join these two vectors, and we will get the resultant. This is one example I have shown you. This is one vector. This is another vector which has 1 and 4. And how those are getting added, guys? 3 plus 1 and 2 plus 4. And this is your addition. Again, vector subtraction. Similarly, here one vector is present, another vector is present, and I am subtracting. That means I am not adding. If you add, it is going to be increased. If you subtract, means the value will be decreasing. That's obvious, right? So this is how my value I am getting. Like this is a resultant of A minus B, A vector and B vector. And this is one example again. I have taken 5 for as a one vector. This is second vector. And 5 minus 3 equal to 2. 4 minus 1 equal to 3. This is how my subtraction is presented. Then we have in multiplication, which is a very important concept, and we have something called dot product and cross product, and we already studied this in our academics, but I just want you to refresh your memory because these are very important for further understanding. So you can see this is one vector and this is another vector. This vector has how many rows, guys? 3 rows. How many columns? 1 column. 1, 2, 3 row, and this is 1 column. So you can present like this: 1, 2, 3. So this is 1 column, this is 3 rows, right? So this is one vector and this is another vector, and I want a dot product, and dot product is presented like this: dot. So how you will do? You just need to multiply 2 into 8 plus 7 into 2 plus 1 into 8, which we are getting 38. Similarly, we have something called cross product, and this is very important to understand how it is getting represented. Okay, so if you see, like most of the times, you will get these kind of equations, right? I mean, this is one kind of presentation how cross product is happening. So we have x, y, and z, like I have already told, right? X, y, and z. So how we will, like, if these kind of equations are there, if that means we have 2 equations, right? 2 linear equations, correct? So how you will present it? Whenever we have x, y, and z, right, you just draw it like this, okay? Then after that, what you have to do? We have the coefficients. These are called coefficients. 3 to 5 are called coefficients. So you can represent it like this: x, y, and z, right? Then 3, 2, and minus 1. Then 2, 6, and 4. See how easy it is, right? This is how your vector is presented here. And the same thing they have shown here, right? And yeah, this is again one example how we have to get the cross product of these two equations, right? This is one example I have shown, the similar example. Instead of x, y, I, z, and k, you can imagine x, y, and z here. Always imagine x because this is a plane, 3D plane. You are presenting it in the 3D plane. So what you have to do? You have to take I into this part. I into this part. You just need to understand diagonally. You need to leave that column and you need to take the diagonal column. Similarly, here when we are considering j, you have to ignore this column and you have to take this and this. See? Similarly, when you are considering k, you have to ignore this, but you have to take this. So basically what I'm saying, this is how our cross product is coming, correct? And this is your formula, guys. These formulas you have to again remember, you have to memorize. I'm not going to say these formulas are very important, but have a look at least. Similarly, we have various applications of vectors, guys, okay? So when we are talking about vectors, right, one thing you should always keep it in mind that all features means whatever features, like consider that an employee has employee ID, then employee name, then employee salary, then employee age. So all those characteristics are called one feature. And when we'll get the data, right, those things are called features. And those features are getting presented in space as a vector, right? Similarly, we have different kind of vector operations which are there to understand the similarity and dissimilarity between various data points, which are similar data, which are non-similar data, like which has dependencies, which are non-dependent. So all those things can be tracked by these vectors. So these vectors are the important part, and you should know what is this vector and how these are presented. These are presented, I have already explained you, in a space. Whenever we have a direction, that is called vector, and the magnitude is called scalar. We have like these, again, what I said right initially, these vectors are again used in machine learning algorithms. We have support vector machines, we have linear regression, we have neural networks everywhere. These things are right. In neural network, there is a concept called we are adding weights. Okay, when you're telling adding weights, that means we are adding some amount of vectors so that the eigen vector, like the length of that vector will be more, and the variance will be more in that case, right? The reach of the data will be more in that case. So these are the various applications. Then we have something called matrix. What is a matrix, guys? A matrix is a multi-dimensional array, you can say. That means you can consider a one-dimensional array either with row or column is vector. But when the same thing, when we're assuming that is a 2D, then we will call that as a matrix. And a matrix can have, it's not only the values or the digits. We can put symbols, we can put images, anything can be presented inside matrix. And again, those are very complex to understand because we have to assume those things in space, how these things are getting formed in space. And again, those are black box. We cannot see how these machines are reading those data. Just need to imagine all these things, how these things are working. Then this is how we are presenting matrix. Size of matrix is getting presented. M, where M is your row, N is your column, right? Then we have, again, like vector, right? We have different operations here, and those operations you need to understand because this is how the data, like how these things are getting manipulated by machines inside. We don't know, but you need to understand the concepts. So this is one of the one 2D matrix and this is another 2D matrix, and how we are adding? We are adding 1 plus 2 like this. 1 plus 2, 2 plus 5, 5, b plus 7, right? This how easy it is. See. Then 5 plus 40. So when we are getting the final output, guys, what exactly is happening? You again need to imagine that, okay, this is how my data is there, and in this, we don't know, guys, in space, right, there are n dimension. We don't know how many dimensions those data is getting presented. The features can, whatever, consider that you have 100 features, right? Those 100 features are getting presented in plane with n dimension form. We don't know what exactly is the logic behind it, but those are getting presented and those are getting converted or transformed from n dimension. So very complex to understand. But you can imagine, these data are presented here somewhere 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Like this, those data is getting say in space. Okay. Then we have something called matrix subtraction. Again, 5 minus 1 you have to take, then 6 minus 2, likewise, right? I mean, 7 minus 3, 8 minus 4. Again, you have to imagine. This is all game of imagination, guys. To assume, you have to imagine things, then only you can proceed in understanding. Then we have something called matrix multiplication. Again, this is a kind of cross, right? We have understood in vector cross product. So 2 into 6 plus 1 into 7. Like this, you have to this, then this, then, right? Same thing. 2 into 6 plus 1 into 7, 2 into 5 plus 1 into 1, right? Row found. And 0 into 6 plus 4 into minus 7 plus here, then 0 into 5 plus 4 into 1. We got our output here. Similarly, what is a transpose? Transpose is nothing but if a row is getting converted to column and a column is getting, vice versa, column again at the same time will be converted to row. That is called a transformation. Transpose or transpose. My bad. This is 22, 32. This is a row. This is a column. See, now column become row here. Not, it's transposed and now you can see the data, and all these things all these operations you can be able to achieve by using pandas library, guys. Then we have something called determinant. Very important concept, determinant, and you should be able to see in our upcoming eigenvector, eigenvalue there, those all are based on determinant only. You to find the eigenvector, whether that matrix is eigenvector or not, you need to determine that, and their determinant concept will be applicable. I have taken a 3 cross 3 matrix. This is called 3 cross 3, guys, right? 3 rows, 3 columns. You have to, how you will do this? We know, right? First, you have to ignore the first row, first column. You have to take this. When just think on top, top to bottom. Then when you are considering this, you will ignore this. Then you have to take this and this. And similarly, when we are taking this, ignore this, take this and this from 4, 5 and 7. Then you have to take cross, right? 5 into 9 minus 6 into 8. Determinant, we are getting determinant of individual 2D matrix, right? See how. Then finally we are getting this, and so basically a 2D matrix, how you will get a determinant is, this is a 2D matrix, right? So if this is your 2D matrix, then the determinant will be 5 into 9 minus 8 into 6. Right? I'm just taking like this. You can just imagine 6 into 8 usually. But that is for my ease of understanding. So 40 minus 48. 40, not 40, 49. So the output will be minus 3. Right? This is how your determinant will be calculated. Then something we have called tensors. Guys, tensors again, these are the arrays with more than 2 axes, and mostly these tensors are there in your neural networks. You should be able to understand that. And like I've already mentioned, right, whenever we are inserting those features and we are trying to fit the data, okay, into model, we don't know how those are getting presented, but imagine that in space those are getting presented as you will find it like a dot, just scattered, like those data are scattered, and we don't know, it's like nth dimension. I don't know how those data are getting presented. Then we have various like vectors, right? We have various applications of matrix. Again, the way we are presenting the data and we are manipulating the data, those are again based on these array concepts, right? Then we have matrix decompositions. By matrix decompositions, we are able to understand, okay, those are the eigenvector concept, and we will understand them. And why we are doing matrix decomposition, guys? We are trying to convert them to linear points, right? Linear transformations. Because then only we should be able to know, okay, what will be the differentiation between x and y, because we need to fit into a plane, right? From space, we have to take them into a plane. Then only we should be able to know, okay, what is the variance, how scattered those data are, what we need to do, right? So yeah. Then we have something called linear regression and optimization, right? Then we have all kind of machine learning algorithms. These matrix concepts be there. Then we have something called linear equations. Guys, anything which has a power of variable, that is called linear equation. Okay, just let me know. Can you imagine, like, if I have something called y, not y, 3x square plus 4y plus 1 equal to 0. What is this equation called, guys? This is called polynomial equation, right? Or quadratic equation. This is called quadratic equation, which has more than one power, right? Quadratic equation. Then again, whenever we are talking about linear equation, right, there are again relations between x and y variables, correct? We are defining those relations and we are trying to fetch the values of x and y. So these are few examples again. And both values, like both x and y values, are getting dependent on each other. They are not independent, they will be always dependent. So you can see these are different forms of linear equation. You can see the power is always 1 here. Otherwise, it is going to be treated as a quadratic equation. System of linear equations have again wide variety of applications. We have, like I've already explained in our previous videos, we have dimensional reduction, and that is a very important concept, which you are calling that as a principal component PCA. Principal component analysis. Here we are trying to understand which components or which features are important to keep, and by keeping those features, it has to take care of all other, it will fulfill all the other features role there. That is how important is, right? Then model interpretation, we have then feature estimation, then data analysis and visualization, all those kind, feature engineering, guys, and we have image processing. We will understand everything. This is just a start, right? Like I said. Then we have something called differentiation and integration. This is very small concept. You don't have to worry much, but you need to know that Okay, what is what? So differential calculus is again what? Whenever we have some quantities like we have x and y variable, right? When we are saying okay, some rate of change in x divided by some rate of change in y, okay, we are calling what? That is called a slope or gradient, right? Similarly, this thing is called as a differentiation between x and y, right? This is called differential calculus. Similarly, how usually our linear equation is getting presented, guys? We are getting presented as f of x, right? F of x. When I'm saying f of x, that is again an equation, mx plus c, right? Okay. Then what is the integral calculus, guys? Integral calculus is nothing but like that's a we will we will see in what area my data is getting displaced or my data is getting what I can say stored or my data is getting scattered. So we can see here I taken like now this is how my data like it will these are my data like this is how my data presented and I'm taking a mean line of it, and when I'm taking a mean line I'm able to see okay, this is my area where the data is highly concentrated, right? And this is how I'm presenting it. I have to see this is my first point and this is my like this is my A point and this is my B point. A like integration of A to B, like this is a first limit, this is your second limit, right? And f of x dx. F of x dx. So if we'll see mx plus c, if we'll do of dx, we will do what we will get? We will get simply m, right? That is how my integration works, right? So yeah, guys, that is all for now, and we will again meet for our next mathematical concepts. That is all. Thank you. That will be all guys for now, and we will cover a few more topics on mathematics. Then we will start with statistical concepts. Then we will proceed for libraries on data science. Yeah, guys, that is all. And start subscribing, like, share your comments, share your feedback, and hit the bell icon for all kind of latest updates. Stay tuned and have a great rest of the whole week. And see you. Bye. Take care.